Hey guys, Sean Bougie, surplusfundsriches.net. And looks like I've come in here a little bit early. I'm going to wait on some folks to come in. Oh, we've got some people in. Welcome aboard, guys. Chat is enabled. Guys, please don't use the Q&A section. Use the chat section. And all I'm waiting for at this point is somebody to tell me they can see and hear me okay. And then we can get rolling on this. Oh, also, there is a file download. You should see that on your screen. If you guys are watching the replay, that file download can't be accessed here, but you can go to the products page, surplusfundsriches.net, click on products, and once you put your information in, you'll be dropped on the products page, and there's an overview there, very similar to what you guys currently can download. That overview, one is pricing, and the other one is an overview of all the programs that we have. Pete says, I see and hear you. Hey, Pete. Chris says yes. Chris, can see and hear you. And Cheryl, hi, guys. All right, guys. Any and all questions, you can bring them up. Just so you know, I will be doing a secondary board update and getting up with folks here. I know I blew it this last week on updates, but I will be getting in touch with people this coming week. If not tomorrow, but a couple more under contract here. We'll be letting everybody know about that. And of course, if you haven't already, definitely like and subscribe to the Facebook page, and same thing with the YouTube channel. Both are Surplus Funds Riches. Okay. Great to see your bright and smiling faces, Randall. Hey, Randall, Chris, are you announcing what the new program will be? I'm not, Chris. I'm going to keep you holding on. Not tonight. Next webinar in 2 weeks. It'll be the 30th. We'll be going over what's going on the 1st of January. I think you guys are going to be stupid excited about that too. The other thing is, of course, don't forget, we did bring Redemption Wholesale. So many people missed Redemption Wholesaler on the last buy. So we're going to let it go again. It won't be $397 like the launch price, but it'll be $447. That'll be Black Friday. Of course, you can add on to that as well, which I would recommend because there's some pretty good deals there. But the Redemption Wholesaler will be available again. There is a video on our YouTube page that goes into that. A lot of people missed it last time. The sale starts at 10 a.m. Eastern time on Friday, this Friday, or no, I'm sorry. Good Friday, or rather Black Friday. It'll start at 10 a.m. Eastern time and go through Saturday. I know it currently says through Sunday. I wouldn't bet on that because of the interest level we're getting. The Redemption Wholesaler also is going to be the first 20 people to buy it. That's it. So it'll be over quick. All right. Saad. Hey, Sean. Very good morning to you from London. Your reputation precedes you. I missed your last webinar, like an ass, due to the time change over here. I woke up 3 hours late. Lovely to be here. It's great, Saad. And guys, participate. That's important. Always somebody asks a question. There's no thing as a stupid question here, okay? Or if there is, I'm going to pretend like it's not. So you're going to be okay. But everything comes down to participation. Somebody always asks a question somebody else didn't think about. So ask away. Augie, in the panning program, if the owner is an LLC, is there still an overage? Augie, yes, there's still an overage, Augie, due to that LLC. I don't believe we work LLCs in the panning system. Jeff can chime in. He's monitoring this as we do it, moderating, I should say. But yeah, there's still an overage. There's overages regardless of who it's made out to. Sarah, hi, Sean. If we had a national surplus funds file submitted and it's no longer on the clerk's list, that probably means somebody claimed it. Yeah, Sarah, I would say that. As long as it's an updated list, that's right. You see that from time to time where that's going to happen. Hey, Sean, hope you and the team are good on the panning. You started, Allie. I need you to finish that sentence for me. Naomi, hello. And remember, guys, don't use Q&A. Use the comment section, please. Naomi, hello. I made it. Just got this suggestion to join from the YouTube. That's fantastic, Naomi. Anything and everything you guys want to ask, remember, file download. You should see it on your screen. Download that. Don't fool around. Download that, because when it's gone, it's gone. The only way you'll be able to get it after that is to go to the products page, which, by the way, there's a link in that file that you can do. But surplusfundsriches.net, you click on products, you got to enter your info. You can unsubscribe at any time. I had somebody say, I'm not doing that. And I said, that's fine. I appreciate you telling me you're not doing it. Go to the products page. Once you land there, there are 2 downloads in 2 different formats. One is for It's an overview of all the programs, and the other one's pricing for the upcoming sale. Remember, only 2 days out of the month. That's the only time we allow people to come on board. This time will be 24th and 25th. I don't think we're going to make it to the 26th, even though it says you can. I doubt it. Then after that, it'll be January 1st. Okay, Allie, on the panning files, we send in, how long do y'all actively try to contact after the initial burst when you first start working the file? Great question, Allie, a long time. And I'll tell you why. Remember, guys, these people lost their house in a foreclosure. They're usually not ready for that. They haven't prepared for it. They're not usually in a mental space to deal with it well. So they're staying with friends or family or wherever they can go. We've had people very frequently staying in hotels because that's the only place they can find right away. Having said that, we pound the snot out of them. Now we're mailing them, excuse me, as well as their possible relatives and associates right away. The second it gets turned in, we're on it. Same thing with calls. And it's a very, very heavy rotation. At the end of 3 or 4 months, I'd say about 3 months. What we also do, though, is we go through everything. And if we've got a lot of them, if we've got deals or rather files where they had phone numbers, but we never really got a response from them, or maybe it was one of those dead phone numbers where you don't know who it is on the voicemail, and we only have mailing addresses, we will re-hit it again and start as if we're starting from scratch. So a year or more. Philippe, can we use the Premier 16 along with the National Surplus, or do we need to purchase separately? You got to buy them both, Philippe, to work in both. They're separate programs. You can buy them in a bundle. Isabel, hi, Sean. I saw a video. We were talking about amounts on a board. What is that? I thought I heard my name. Isabel, I responded to your YouTube response to that. Check that out. Damu, where do I find copy of tax assessor's page? Well, we teach you how to do that, Damu. You can go to, and by the way, it's not always a tax assessor, but remember we do mortgage and tax overages. In the tax overage arena, yeah, a lot of times you can find that. It's a simple, Google is your friend, guys, right? Tax assessor's office, county name, state name. Go start navigating through it. Now, guys, look, we didn't put direct links in the ebooks for a reason. Those counties change. Whenever somebody new is elected, they get their buddy to redo the website and it changes completely. Counties change all the time. You're going to have to get used to navigating through websites to get lists. It is not hard to do once you've done it a couple times. Don't undersell yourself. You can do it. Sarah, can I ask this question about working LLC's companies on the national program? Hey, Sarah, really need you to read the ebook. Okay, read the ebook, read the resources page and the frequently asked questions on support. That's covered in there. We're not going to work LLCs on national. Wow, I got to back up a little bit. Hi, Sean, I understand that you no longer give out updates. Why is that? That's because, Doyle, we contact people immediately when we get under contract. Now, when I say immediately under contract, okay, well, first of all, we didn't always give updates to everybody. You still had to turn in a certain amount of files because people are driving us freaking crazy, turning in 3 files and bugging us for 3 months. Hey, what's going on with the files? You turned in 3 files. Come on, guys. Okay. So not that I've had people turn in 5 and we've gotten 3 under contract. Okay. And I've also had people turn in 20 and get nothing. It's a statistical average and it's Murphy's Law. And that's how it works. That's how conversion rates work. So the updates we used to give, it was you'd give us, you'd request an update if you already had 20 that were accepted, and the following month we'd respond. Well, we're really pushing getting the deals under contract. So we always contact you when we get one under contract. We will email you and text you to let you know that. If we don't get a response to that, we'll also call you to let you know it's under contract. And then we'll let you know when we're about 10 to 15 days out on receiving the check. So that's why we did that. It was too much of a pain in the butt to tell people here's where you are, especially the guys that were turning in just a few files. That was kind of silly. If you guys look, those of you guys that are in the program, if you look at the active files page, and while I'm on this, I'm going to address something else too. If you look at our actively worked files list, you're going to see that the guys that are really making, and you can see them, on the deals board, you see their names over and over again. Look at how many they've turned in. They're putting in the time, effort, and energy. Okay, it's a big deal to keep your pipeline full. All right. Doyle, hi, Sean. I understand you're only, okay, we already answered that. Let's go to the next one. Sorry, I'm getting behind already. Sod. Sean, when do we do title debt research on a former homeowner to potentially claim surplus funds? Do we do the research a few days before the tax foreclosure date or on the actual foreclosure date? Sod, you get a list of surplus first, okay? You're not, in the national surplus, Premier 16, 50/50, all those, you're not estimating anything. So you've got to see a list of exactly what was created. Because look, even in a tax overage situation, when they have the opening bid, that's not necessarily the entire money the county's going to take. I've seen counties add on an additional $1,500 fee to that. So you've got to get an actual list. Once you get the list, which some of them are very, very current. Once you get that list, you can start researching debt on that. Now, Florida is different, and that's in a separate program. It's only available in bundles. Florida actually allows day of sale, but that's for a couple of different reasons. And that's the only program that does that. Good question. Sorry, the dachshunds are in the background. Hi, Sean. I joined earlier this year with the panning. For some reason, I'm having a problem finding the files. Can you help with that? Naomi, you need to read the book at least twice for comprehension. And then after that, watch the videos. I have never seen a higher turn-in rate in my life for the panning program. I don't know what you mean. You can't find the files. There's so much opportunity out there. It's unbelievable. Also, do we submit everything as one PDF? Yes, exactly as it tells you in the submission rules. Demo, question 2, paperwork submission, file or case number. Demo, that's right in there. Jeff handles that part of it. I'm not absolutely sure, but in the header in the email, I believe we want you to put the file name. Randall, in the panning program, if the entity went out of business, could we use the Zombie Business Revival to acquire the overage funds? You certainly could. Of course, that's a DIY thing. Randall, if you've got that program, use it. If you don't, it may be available for those of you guys who have already bought a book from us. If you click the link inside your book to the resources page, on that page should be somewhere in there, most programs, past buyer loyalty discount. You can probably pick that up for like $347, $397. Doyle, when do you stop trying to? Oh, I already answered that one, Doyle. It's a year or more out. We pound it. Demo, can I use parcel ID number? Not for the header in the email, but if you're talking about on the, you can't find a case number, let's say, and you're filling out the title worksheet, Demo, now I'm kind of understanding your question. You can use a parcel ID. I believe that's all, though, covered, guys, in the resources, in the submission rules. We really want the file name in the header of the email because that email is actually passed back and forth through underwriting. But as far as on the title worksheet, if you don't have a case number, I believe a parcel ID number is fine. If we bought the program, do we have a guidance or support from your team? Yeah. So, Sean, you've got an initial PDF, okay? There's only really 2 ways to learn that have been proven effective. One is to read, and one is to watch some ancillary videos on top of that. But the most powerful is reading. You're learning a new skill set. Read the PDF you get. That's the initial content ebook. It is soup to nuts, A to Z, alpha, omega, okay? Read that thing at least twice for comprehension, then click the link that's on the first page, I believe in the first page, most programs, and go to the resources page. You have to use your password to do that. But once you're on there, there's additional videos that actually back that up. If you have questions after reading the ebook and watching those videos, you still have questions, use support as outlined in the ebook. We're more than happy to help you with that. And of course, we have these live question and answer webinars. Thank you. I thought I didn't send it, Isabel. Okay. Demo, deed recordation showing transfer of property. Yeah, you have to have a recorded deed showing the transfer of property, Demo. Hey, guys, do me a favor. Do me a favor, okay? We got really limited time here. We're almost halfway through already. Please don't ask me questions that are covered in the ebook or covered on the resources page or on the support page, the frequently asked questions on the support page, where you're trying to get a different answer because you don't like the one that's on there. All the rules we put into place, we did for the benefit of both of us, for you guys and us, to make sure that we're chasing stuff that we can actually put together. So please don't ask me questions because you don't like the answer. Okay? All right. Chris, do you know of any bankruptcy courts that require the business to be in good standing? My experience so far is that bankruptcy courts don't generally require the business to be in good standing. With tax overages and mortgage overages, the county or the state require the business to be in good standing. Yeah, so they're going to check. So, Chris, I don't run into this problem, okay, because we use attorneys, and the attorneys get it out in the claimant name and then forward it to the central attorney, who then cuts it to me, and I cut everybody out that needs to be paid. Typically, the front end attorney takes it. So it's a matter, they're seeing the attorney's name, and it's not illegal. It's just we're being very clean with this. They're seeing the claimant's name and the attorney name, and that's it. And that's how we kind of teach it. So it's really not an issue with us. As far as bankruptcy courts, if you're trying to use the surplus hybrid program where you leverage the bankruptcy courts to try to get this money out and get a referral from them, I have never seen them check that, but I've always been in good standing, right? So, and you don't have to be in good standing in that particular state. Bankruptcy court's federal. Okay, you don't have to be registered as a foreign corporation in all the different states where these bankruptcy courts are. You can just have the home state if you're a company. You can also do it as an individual. That was a really good question, Chris. I appreciate that. All right. So Cheryl, hi, Sean. Do we contact the claimant in the panning for surplus funds, or is that just in the 50/50 and Premier Sur? No, you don't have to contact them. I don't have the panning yet, but am considering the diamond bundle for the New Year's sale. Thanks for all that you do, Cheryl. Hey, that's a smart move. Another thing I'll tell you, Cheryl, because a lot of the guys are bugging me in here that I'm kind of ignoring the question, because we are also putting out a new special program January 1st. If you get the bundle now, one of the things that's in the bundle, and by now I mean the 24th or the 25th this month, you get the Diamond Bundle. Diamond Bundle comes with a coupon to get a future program. So you could actually pick up the new program we're launching January 1st, because you bought the Diamond Bundle now. You guys are like cranking it out. This is a fantastic webinar here. Damo, you started with also shows the name of the deed holder at the time of the sale. Do I need? So I'm going to need you to take your time, guys. Sometimes I believe when you hit enter, it just sends it. You got to make sure you got it all in there. Brad, hey, Brad. Sean, panic question. Not sure if you can talk about the Tafoya deal that has been under contracts for quite some time, since September. That's not too long. Thanks for any update you can talk about. We really appreciate you and your team. Thanks, Brad. So, and I appreciate you too, Brad. I have no idea, because I've got an attorney liaison that's handling that, and I've got and what I told Pete earlier, I meant, by the way, I know last week I was weak on it. I'm going to get into sending out emails on stuff, on all the new stuff that we put together. That's about normal time, though. If we got under contract in September, then you got a month for the attorney to get in front of whoever they need to get in front of, or get them to actually respond, and then it can be a month for them to cash it, depending on if it's tax, mortgage, or if it's panning with the foreclosing attorneys. By the way, they have been rough. We have to bug the snot out of them. I am so glad I have a full-time attorney liaison whose job is to bug the snot out of them. And she's got the backing of a great attorney, because she's on their payroll as well. Works out great. Sorry I couldn't answer that question, Brad. I'll take a look if I can remember this. We try to remember, guys, please give us a break and let us update you as we go. The deals board is something I do, but occasionally it can go on the deals board, and then we find an issue, an IRS tax lien or something else. So that's why I typically don't reach out right away after we put it on the deals board. I'll reach out after I know it's gone through the attorney process, where they double check the title work, and we know we're pretty clear sailing at that point. Got a lot of stuff coming in though, guys. Another Gaston County should be coming in shortly. We've got stuff all over the board: Arizona, Nevada, good Lord, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida. It's a lot. So on the surplus 50/50, can we work Florida tax overages? I don't know the answer to that question, Saad. I know that normally Florida is separate. So I'm going to let Jeff jump in if he's here tonight and answer that. I don't believe so, but maybe Jeff has a different answer on that. He handles the front line, guys. Demo, to also need the copy of the deed when he purchased it. Yes, you also need that demo. That's in the ebook. You've got to get both. Look, we need to know. Let me explain something to you guys, because I think some people think we ask people to do busy work. We don't. Two of the things, this is just two, but there's not a whole lot of the things that we need, is the deed showing when the owner that last owned it prior to the foreclosure, when they got it, we need their deed. We also need the deed when it actually sold and transferred. That way we know it's actually sold and transferred. It wasn't invalidated. It wasn't voluntarily dismissed. Nothing happened. The person didn't do the last minute redemption where they paid off whatever they need to pay off 2 seconds before the foreclosure was over. None of that happened. So we need that final deed showing transfer. And by the way, some of you guys are looking at other files and going, I looked at that and they didn't have a deed of transfer. We have the Premier 16 doesn't necessarily need that right away. When you're looking at the list, you're looking at all of our different surplus funds lists. So please do me a favor. Don't tattletale on other people. We know what we're doing. We've checked it. That doesn't mean it's going to work out. Just be cool. Stay in your lane. Research your files. Don't worry about other files. We also put some files on there that we know are wrong because we're getting them multiply turned in over and over again, and mistakes are being made on that particular file for some reason. So we'll leave it in there. So that doesn't mean somebody else got it and now you can't work it and they somehow bent the rules and didn't have a deed that they needed. It doesn't mean any of that, okay? It's on there. And by the way, even if we've cleared it out, it's going to stay on there just so that way nobody else turns it in, okay? We also need the deed from when the last owner first bought it. That's extremely important. Let me tell you guys some examples why that's so important. Number one, if it's a joint tenancy with rights of survivorship, that's a big deal. If it's 50 grand that we're going after and we can only get a hold of the wife, we're okay if the husband died prior to the foreclosure because joint tenants rights of survivorship means his interests transferred straight to the wife. Prior to the foreclosure, she's entitled to all of it. Another thing that can happen is you see that when they bought it or when it was transferred to that owner, that last owner prior to the sale, when they got the property, sometimes they inherit it. And now I can look at that deed and it says the name on that, because the county didn't do their job right, the name on that is just that person, but they only have 1/7 interest. We have to have the deeds. We have to have the deeds of when they got it, that last owner got it. And then when it got transfers at the foreclosure, there is no exceptions. Don't ask, because guys, we're gonna blow it on that. I'm gonna waste a lot of resources. Multiple skip tracing systems, up to 30 mailings per file going out to possible relatives and associates and claimants. The time to do it, the data entry involved. We want to maximize our productivity and yours. So we don't want to chase stuff that's not going to work. Okay. Hi, Sean. I know you talk about consistency in submitting files, and it's a numbers game. So would you say submitting 10 files a day is a good number to gauge on? That'd be fantastic, Sarah. But to be honest with you, it's probably unnecessary. A lot of the guys are very successful, are not even hitting the max of 100 files per month. Doyle, I understand you don't accept estimated bids that are 000 or 00. So a file has a listing of 89.5. Is that a real number? It's not, Doyle. Listen, guys, when you're looking, this is panning he's talking about, not our other programs. In panning, we teach you all the intricacies of being able to estimate surplus funds in those states where you can't get a list for mortgage overages because the attorney is handling the overage. It's making up almost 60% of our business right now. We just launched this January 1st. Given that we've had guys for years working with us, that's an amazing, staggering number. Yeah, that's not a real number, Doyle. The opening bid should be literally have cents in it, all this stuff, because the attorney's coming up with a legit number of what's owed. Jeff can speak to that if I answer that incorrectly. Sean says, thank you, Deborah. Hi, Sean, your program is amazing. Thank you, Deborah. Work it. Let's all make some money. Christmas is coming. Rachel, in panning after a house goes to auction, I was wondering, what is the typical timeline for a county to post an updated deed for the new owner? 1 to 2 months. It depends. I'm sorry, Rachel, I don't have a solid answer for you. So the county is posting that, but the foreclosure attorney handled it. So it's usually this hybrid mix of the attorney that handled the foreclosure and the county working together. So it can get kind of weird. Yeah, I think that's a good 1 to 2 months. That's good. Sometimes it's extremely fast. Allie, one more question. I got a big Texas stack of files I'm researching right now, as well as Tennessee and Ohio. Does your language barrier, Spanish, have any kind of effect when you're trying to contact and get people under contract? No, Allie, we have a full-time staff. And on that staff, we have Spanish-speaking people. Great question. And there's a reason for that. There's a lot of Spanish-speaking people out there. Allie says, thanks a lot. Saad, if the surplus funds for a particular county is about to be escheated to the state, can we go after the funds if they have been escheated to the state as unclaimed funds, or has the surplus funds been lost forever, meaning you can't claim it? Depends on the state, okay? Depends on the state, Saad. Here's the issue you're going to run into. In those states where we can claim it, the delay is going to be insane because we still claim at the county level, and then the county, after they grant it, taps on the shoulder of the state and says, hey guys, we got a claim here, send us the money back. And that can take a year, okay? So I just wouldn't go down that road. That's the simple answer, but it is state dependent. We don't typically work stuff that's sent to the state. We try to avoid that. Damo, you really need to read the ebook, pay attention to the file examples. That's what Jeff's response, Damo. Surplus 50-50 file rules cover what states you can outwork. You can work Florida with 50-50. Jeff says yes. Chris, I started with Premier 16. I'm thinking about purchasing the national plan. Okay. If I cannot get in touch with the claimant, could I then submit on the national plan? Chris, not if you've already submitted it. Excuse me, not if you've already submitted as a P16. Once you've sent it as a Premier 16 and you got it on the list that you're working it, you need to work that and make the call yourself. But if you haven't submitted it yet and no one else has submitted, check the active files list, right? This is why we put that up, so guys don't duplicate each other's efforts. We do not have a saturation issue, but that's because people are smart about where they're working and there's so much opportunity out there. Having said that, get the national, and then you can submit as national using these different submission rules on national. But if you put it in as a P16 already, you can't turn around later and turn it as a national. The way we look at that is you've been able to lock it down on the list. So you need to work that. You know what I mean? Other people weren't able to turn that in because you had an initial turn in after researching debt and ownership, and we expected you to make the call. So that's how we look at that. Saad, looking at a surplus list is for tax. How do you find out if the surplus funds are still available before we contact the claimant as to not waste time? Do we call the county and find out, or is there another way? So the way we do it is we have our guys check and make sure that the list is updated. You can call the county and ask them that. I would not call, guys, stop calling the county on every single file working. Stop. Instead, call and go, hey, how often is the list updated? Make sure you got an updated list or it's dated within the last month, okay, or two. Make sure you're working at that and you'll be fine. That's a great question, Saad. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. Okay, thank you. Doyle, we will not accept files with suspicious even number, minimum, or opening bids. This is what I said earlier. Minimum or opening bids ending with 00, 2 zeros, or 3 zeros will not be accepted. For instance, bids like 100,000, 125. This is opening bid on the panning only, guys. 125, 150, 58,000 are arbitrary or not a real indication of mortgage debt owed. We covered this in the ebook and file example number 1. Step 2, getting list on page 17. Instead, look for values that have odd numbers, and even better if it has sense. That's what I just said. An example of this is a number like 124,687.34. Okay. Remember, we are estimating. We need to make sure we're using accurate numbers. The estimate is only as good as that. I had one guy call me recently and go, "What if I can't get the opening bid?" Well, what the hell are you? What are you going to turn into me? You don't know what the opening bid was. You got the final set price. That's it. How much is the surplus? He said, "I don't know. Either do I." Got to have a good opening bid. Remember, I'm continuing with Jeff. Remember, we are estimating. We need to make sure we're using accurate numbers. Files submitted with values that we feel are not real will be rejected. The opening or minimum bid goes on page 1 of the worksheet and the closing debt amount line. Woo! Thank you, Jeff. Saad, man, come on, guys. We only got a couple minutes left to probably shut down. Sean, if the surplus funds for a particular county is about to be eschewed at the state, can we go off the funds if they've been eschewed? Yeah, I addressed that. Solomon, I'm new to all this, so my question is this beginner friendly? Yes, the key, Solomon, take your time. And if you're acting from desperation, you're going to blow it because you're going to try to take shortcuts and you're going to be all freaked out. Take your time. It's a new skill set, guys. Hey, guys that have been mortgage bankers, mortgage brokers, realtors, and all that, they've had more trouble than guys that are straight off the street. The last thing they did was they sold bikes in a bicycle shop. Okay. Read the ebook, Twice for Understanding. Once you've done that, you can click the link to the resources page. There's additional information there. There's also additional video training. Read the ebook. That's key because Jeff actually put screenshots and all that in there. It's very, very beginner friendly. That's a great question. Thank you. Thank you. Amazing reply. Ray, hi, Sean. Thank you all for all that you do. This is my first sale of your products. How do I make the purchase of the products on 24th or 25th? Do I go to the website or receive an email? If you've signed in, Ray, we will give you a reminder email. But guys, all you're going to have to do is 10 a.m. That's a great question. 10 a.m. on the 24th. Starting at 10 a.m. on the 24th, probably done. I'm just warning you. I know it says through 26. I doubt it. Probably over evening of the 25th. 10 a.m. If you can get there that early, 10 a.m. Eastern time, go to surplusfundsriches.net. Click on the products page, right? Put your info in. It'll drop you on the products page. At 10 a.m., that products page, as it stands now, will flip and it will become a buy page. And right now, you can go and get a download if you haven't downloaded the file in front of you right here. You can go and get a download of the overview of all the programs, also a download of the pricing. And guys, after reading that, please, if you still have questions, give me a call. 704. You can watch the replay. I'll give you that. My number is also on the website, surplusfundsriches.net. 704-791-9398. 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday Eastern Time, please. Best time to reach me. Saad, looking at the surplus list. This is for tax overage claims. How do we find out if the surplus funds are still available before we contact? Oh, you already asked that. Okay. Q&A. Question from Doyle. Yeah, Doyle, move on then. Get out of that county, because that's obviously they're not giving you legit opening bids. Doyle says, thank you, Jeff. Questions from Shaban. Do you recommend contacting prospective claimants? If you do it on yourself, Shaban, and you want to do it on the weekend, have at it. Just make sure you're following the, I try not to call people before 9 a.m. My girls come in and they get all the women that work for me. I have an all-woman staff except for Jeff. Come in early. They get everything ready. They're getting mailings out, and then 9 o'clock hits and they're on the East Coast. And then they're moving over and they're just pounding it. Weekends, I do the same thing. Just be courteous. Great questions, guys. You wore me out. Again, got any questions for me? You should be getting a replay link, but you can also go to our YouTube page. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube page, you're being silly. There's insane. I'm loading so much information, content on there every day. It's unbelievable. Surplus Funds Riches, all one word, on YouTube. And you'll be able to see this replay as well. Guys, I really appreciate everybody coming out, and hope you have a great night. Thank you.